So we're going to go over number 8 from your assignment on solving systems by elimination. The first thing that you got to look for, so step 1 is determine if either your x values or your y values have the same number with opposite signs. So if we look here, our x's have different numbers. So you have 7x and 8x, so those aren't the same. So then you move on and look at your y's, and you have 2's in front of both of your y values. However, they also have the same sign, so they have to have opposite signs. So in order to make that true, you need to multiply by something to make one of them from a positive 2 to a negative 2. So what you're going to have to do is multiply by negative 1. It does not matter which equation you multiply in this case. So I'm just going to retake the first one and rewrite it down below. So 7x plus 2y equals 24. And because I want to change this from a positive 2 to a negative 2, I'm going to multiply by negative 1. But you have to make sure that you multiply everything by the value in front. So I'm going to take negative 1 times 7x, which is going to give you negative 7x, negative 1 times 2y, which becomes plus negative 2y, equals negative 1 times 24, which is negative 24. Then from here, now I have negative 2y and a positive 2y, so I'm going to take this second equation and write it down below, and then I can add the two equations together. So 8x plus 2y equals 30, and if I add vertically, negative 7 plus 8x gives you 1x, negative 2 plus 2 is going to give you 0y, or they're going to cancel out, because 0 times y is 0. And then negative 24 plus 30 will give you 6. You can write it out into words, which would be read as x times 1, and work backwards. So if you divide by 1, divide each side by 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Cancel out. So x equals 6 divided by 1, which will give you 6. Are you paying attention? Okay. So x equals 6. So now you're going to substitute back in to either one of these equations. So it does not matter which one. So I'm just going to reuse the first one. So 7x plus 2y equals 24. And now this value, where I have x equals 6, is going to replace my x in this equation. Keep in mind, if you solved for y first, so if your x's were easily eliminated and you got y here, make sure you're substituting in for y. So when I replace this, this becomes 7 times 6 plus 2y equals 24. And then you're going to solve for y. So you draw your line, 7 times 6 gives you 42, plus 2y equals 24. And now you can write it out into words, and it's just a two-step equation. So this is y times 2 plus 42. And work backwards. So subtract 42. Make sure you have opposite signs so they cancel out. 2y comes down. 24 minus 42 is negative 18. Be careful with your signs. Then opposite of times is divide. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, or cancels, to give you y equals negative 18 divided by 2, which is negative 9. So once you have your x value and your y value, then you have to write your solution. So the solution is 6, negative 9. And remember, it's always x and then y. And that is your final answer.